There's retributive justice in the Old Testament that is rightly understood to be a kind of judgment against evil and sin, right? There's even a lex talionis, eye for an eye. There's even a kind of suggestion of a kind of quality or what's the word I'm looking for? A kind of range or extent of retributive justice, right? So it should be proportional to the particular act of evil committed. You see that in the Old Testament, but you also see reparative versions of what we might call justice, right? This is what we might regard as a more holistic approach to righting a wrong. And I would suggest, I wouldn't use the language of more biblical or less biblical, but I would suggest that as redemptive history unfolds, it makes sense that a more reparative understanding of justice will be what is prioritized, particularly when you get to the New Testament. Because think about, and I began here in Romans, think about the language of God being both just and the justifier, right? So the language of salvation is always in view. And what is the entire redemptive historical narrative kind of aimed at? Well, it's aimed at the reconciliation between God and a fallen humanity, those who are in the wrong. So God's interest and perspective towards that fallen humanity is not merely retributive, right? It's not merely punishment. In fact, the heart of the gospel message suggests that he takes that punishment and puts it on another, right? So that kind of gospel kind of lens ought drive and inform how we think about justice, even when we think about something like punishment. And kind of very practically, when I was on the Hill, I did a lot of work in criminal justice reform, working with organizations like Prison Fellowship and a range of others that use that kind of framework of kind of reparative justice, that we're not simply trying to think punitively about justice, but we're trying to think more holistically about what does it mean to repair a whole person, and not just the offender, but what does it mean to repair the one who has been offended? What does it mean to repair the community in which that offense has taken place? Well, that's now a whole new framework for justice, right? That is informed by that gospel imperative, that gospel work, that is seeking a kind of consummation and reconciliation of all things, not just a judgment on a particular act.